Welcome back to Susan's Kitchen Corner, and we're going to make pumpkin pie from the dough all the way to the pie. So we're going to need a mixing bowl, 2 4-ounce butters, or a half pound. So these are 4 ounce eaches. We're going to need ice water and your drink. Mine is tea, mango passion fruit tea, which looks a little bit like beer, but it isn't. And 2 pie pumpkins, which are really small, and just so you can see what they look like. And we're not going to be using these just yet, but we're going to make the dough. And if you watch my apple pie video, the dough is basically the same, so I'm just going to do it again. And you can either, let's not forget, we need 4 cups of flour. Let me scroll this down a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. So here's your flour. Let's get a scoop, which is behind me. Here's your measuring cup. So that's 2. Four. Okay, and here's a quick tip. You don't need measuring cups because I got a yogurt slash it's not really okay. Here's the yogurt cup, right? And there is even the brand of yogurt. It's 6 ounces, right? Well, we got this other rice pudding cup, and it's 8 ounces. Here's your measuring cup. Scoop the flour in. So about that much. If you can see, dump it in. And we got a cup of flour. So anything that you buy that says 6 ounces on it can be potentially, well, it can be used for a cup. So always pay attention to the little containers you buy. And you can do tablespoons, like, well, I'm not sure if you could buy anything in tablespoons, but it does work. So don't always think, oh, this is a broken. This was a nice coffee scoop, and it's 2 tablespoons, but the little handle broke off. I kept it anyway, so I still use it. It's kind of one of those, you see high, no handle, so it's high class. Usually you see stuff like that in the more expensive magazines where they have something really wild. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put our 2 sticks of butter in. And you can go either way. You can use a pastry knife like this. And again, make sure you get the ones that are a little sharp. They're flat. They're flat. If you can see, they're flat. They're not rounded. That's the one you want. If you don't have a pastry knife, you can use your pastry fingers. And get in there and just, I'll start it out with my fingers, just to show you. And if you're like, well, wait a minute, the cubes are too big, and you don't have a pastry knife, and you're like, oh, well, gee whiz, well, get a pastry knife. This kind of knife. And just cut them in half. Watch your fingers, come in forth, come up, until you can manage to break them apart with your fingers. Or I like messing my stuff up. Get a pastry spatula. It dices, it slices, it juliennes. Just get in there You know, you see all those infomercials where they have all those different gadgets with slices and dices. Well, this does exactly the same thing. So if you don't have one of these, and it doesn't have to have the holes in it, just get in there and chop, 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 just into smaller, manageable pieces. Okay, enough of that. So let's get in here with our fingers. And basically what you're doing is you're grabbing each chunk and you're squishing it. Squish, squish. You're just squishing it into the flour as best you can. Now this is a little bit, it is being done with my fingers, but if you have a pastry knife, that goes a little bit faster and you can just really just work it, like just get in there and just, it's gonna get over you, it's gonna come out of the bowl. Don't panic. So let's just get in there, and if you had a bad day and you want to get some stress out, take it out on the butter. Go, oh my god, my class was so hard today. I just squeezing like that. Like, let's say, here's your teacher. You don't like your teacher. Mrs. Anderson, this is what I think of you. This is what I think of the problems you're teaching. But okay, that's a different, I'm not into, this is not how to release anger management / cooking show, but you know, it's better always to take anger out on inanimate objects than people. So that's what you can do. And this is coming up. Look at, see, just work it. Any big pieces, just squish them. So what we're looking for in this is we're looking for everything to be uniformed. So it's all going to be the same size. We're trying to get rid of all the big pieces. And it's going to look like breadcrumbs. And of course the flour is going to turn yellow. Well, not yellow, like bright yellow. I think I said in my last video, if you want your little kids to give them something to do, split this up into 2 bowls and let them have at it and say, you know, this isn't for eating. Watch them and say, okay kids, let's get in here and work this until all the butter disappears. So I didn't even use a pastry chef. Caught myself, not pastry chef, pastry knife. And pastry knives are really inexpensive. They're old school. The one I just showed you. They're what I mean, before the blender or anything like that, that's what people did. Use those things. Now they don't use them much because they got these high-end blending machines. Okay. And again, I'll say in this video too, if you want to substitute the butter for lard, go for it. Do the same thing until it's all the same consistency. So you're going through it and you don't see any. Oh, there can be some big lumps, but I'm saying like big lumps, like there's a big one, let's get rid of it. Like too big of lumps. Okay, this looks all good. Kind of mealy. It has a mealy texture to it. Okay, let me bat my hands off here. Take a drink of tea. And here's what we have. Very mealy. There's some little chunks in it, but don't worry. I'm talking about like extra big chunks where you can still see the butter clumps. So that's the texture we're looking for. Now what we're going to do is, in my last video I eyeballed it by pouring it, and I think I did it a little bit too fast. Your ice water, tablespoon. We're going to put 1, 2, 3. And then what we're going to do is we're going to work that around with the other side of the spoon. And we're going to work this like a snowball. We're going to compact it. Apple pies need to have, apple pie, excuse me. I'm stuck on apple pie. Pumpkin pie, well, apple pie dough or pumpkin pie dough. Blueberry pie dough, rhubarb pie dough, doesn't matter. The dough needs only a little bit of water, not a lot. Because we're not going for a wet dough, we're going for a really dry dough. I think I'll show you what I mean by that. And feel it. Okay. We're going to add some more water. So we added 3 tablespoons. 1. Let's add another 3. 2. Let's see, 3, 4. Let's add 2 more. So I didn't add 3, I added 2. I think my last video, I nailed it perfect when I poured it, so I was like, yeah. So, but I don't want to do this with this video because not too many people, I don't know, I don't want to say, okay, just pour and stop when you think you should stop. That might be a little confusing. Okay, test it again. This is feeling pretty good. And again, what we're going to do is we're going to spill it across the side. See, the thing is, when you're pushing it together and having it come out of the bowl, it's going to happen. You're making sure that it's not too wet. See, I'm pushing it together, and it's falling apart. So it needs more ice water. So we put in 5, 6, 2 more, 7. And you want to do this because you got to be really careful. Again, it's not to get this overkill. Okay, let's try it again. Stick together, squish it down, and